I am going to say good morning to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living family. And I'm going to invite Jessie to kick us off with some music.
Let's do it. Good morning. Let's all take the blessings that are raining down upon us in all forms, even the stuff we might call bad. Somehow, it's a blessing. And the best thing to do with your blessings is to accept them. So here we go. Sunshine on my face and the day is made of magic. Sometimes I still find a way to make my life feel tragic. Good things pour down on me like summer rain is so warm. I try to run, but it's so much better to dance in the storm. You see, I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I accept my pain without question, it's a blessing. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I'm expanding and I'm standing in the heart of love. 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 Things crumble into chaos and I don't know where to turn next. Feels like I'm a failure, but I know it's all for the best. Good things are coming my way, even if I can't see them yet. And if I open my eyes and trust, I'll see that I've been blessed. Oh, I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I accept my pain without question, it's a blessing. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I'm expanding and I'm standing in the heart of love. 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 Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Right here, right now, you are standing in the heart of love. No matter what your experience is at this moment, it is at the center of the universe, at the heart of everything. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I accept my pain without question, cause it's a blessing. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I'm expanding and I'm standing in the heart of love. I'm standing in the heart of love. I'm standing in the heart of love. Sing it with me. I'm standing in the heart of love. 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 We are standing in the heart of love. In the heart of love. Oh, in the heart of love. In the heart of love. I'm standing in the heart of love.
Ooh, that was awesome. I can't tell you how perfect that song is for the talk that I wrote. It's perfect for the message. Couldn't have been better. I say hello to Gisela. I see Gisela and Colleen have popped on. So good to see you guys. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. And I want to invite our practitioner of the day, Ralane Clarke, to open us up with her invocation. And I bet she's got something great to say.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, everyone. So let's just close our eyes and feel that great energy of that music and that feeling that we've just experienced with Jessie Power's lovely, powerful music. And just feel that that's the presence of God, that energy, that heart of love, that feeling of goodness and higher vibrational energies, and that collection of all the goodness of life, all together right here in the presence of God. I'm so grateful. And I just know that we are all interconnected with the oneness of spirit, with the oneness of each other, with the oneness of all that goodness. And I just know that this topic today is really, really great and helps us to move forward in our lives in beautiful and wonderful ways. And I know that Reverend Michelle's words are wise and powerful and just great as always. And Jesse Power's music, of course, is just so beautiful and powerful and wonderful. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for being here this morning. It really feels that connection and that unity that brings us all together in this moment of goodness. And so I release this prayer, knowing it is already so, and so it is. Self-care. It's a big topic. And I have this book called Inner Wisdom. It's an old book. Inner Wisdom, Meditations for the Heart and Soul by Louise Hay. And there's two practices. They're really self-love practices that Louise Hay writes about that I was drawn to speak to today. And I really feel that self-love practices are at the heart of self-care. So here's the first one. Okay. I love myself totally in the now. Love is the biggest eraser there is. Love erases even the deepest imprinting because love goes deeper than anything. If my childhood imprinting was very strong, I keep saying it's all their fault, and then I can't change, and I say stuck. So I do a lot of mirror work. I look at my reflection in the mirror, and I tell every part of my body and soul that I love it. I do this every morning when I wake up and every evening before I go to sleep. I love everything about this wonderful soul that is me. And the second one that I really liked was, I love being me. When I imagine how enjoyable it would be if I could live my life without ever being criticized by anyone, I think how totally at ease and comfortable I would feel. I would get up in the morning and I would know that I was going to have a wonderful day because everybody would love me and nobody would judge me or put me down. I would feel just great. Well, now I realize that I can give this gift to myself. I can make the experience of living with myself the most fabulous experience imaginable. I can wake up in the morning loving myself, praising myself, and telling myself, I love being me. I thought those two practices for self-love really speak to the heart of self-care. What better thing than to love ourselves? And so it is. Thank you, Louise. And here is a, oh boy, a new affirmation. June's affirmation. Thank you for this beautiful, spectacular, fantastic, brand new day. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for my inner joy and inner peace. And I'm grateful for the love and light of life expressing everywhere. Oh, I know this person. Deborah Perdue. All right. Let's have a great morning then.
Oh, thank you, Ralane. That was such, we're doing Life Loves You, for those that don't know, on our Tuesday evening learning circle time. And we've all been doing mirror work, and it's so powerful. I'm so glad you shared that with us. It's from her first book, Before Life Loves You, but that's very powerful. Thank you so much for that reminder. I really appreciate that. Jesse, you got something? You're muted, yeah.
I know, I had to tune. If I don't mute while I'm tuning, you guys have to hear the same song over and over again, you know. I've heard that song a million times every time you go see live music. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about self-love. So this is my song, Forgive. And we've done this before, but things pile up, so we'll do it again. Take one of those things that it's time to let go of, that maybe you did, that you're still feeling guilty for, and just let it go. This is top-notch self-care, in my opinion. So many years I've hidden, so many lies I've told, the ignorance of youth, or a woman too afraid of truth. So many things mistaken, so much guilt I hold, buried alive, a weight on my chest, stole my breath, and I went cold. And how I long for the warmth of love, for the softer side of me. The time is now, I shall be free. You can sing with me. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for everything, for everything. Expectations shattered, promises unkept. So many times I swore I'd change. Years go by and I'm still the same. And how I long for tenderness and grace at my own hands. I am the one, I understand. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive myself for everything, for everything. The faith I had in myself turned to confusion. It's such a slow erosion, seeing that hope and trust were just another couple illusions. But somewhere deep inside I realize I am worthy. I am somebody who can be relied on. So I'm gonna put my faith in me. I put my faith in me. Once again, I have found redemption. I put my faith in me. I put my faith in me. Once again, oh, I have found redemption. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive myself. Here we go. I forgive myself. Sing it with me. I forgive myself, and really forgive yourself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. One more time. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Ooh, one more time. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for everything, for everything. Beautiful.
Wow. Wow. All I can say is wow. Woo! Whew, forgiveness is a powerful thing. Oh, thank you so much. That really, really set the mood, set the tone, set the vibe. Ah, okay. Well, good morning. Oh, what a lovely morning. Welcome to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living's online Sunday service. And welcome to June. And June is a month of self-discovery through self-care, which is Ralane mentioned earlier. Self-care. It is a big idea, Ralane. When I hear that term, I tend to think about all the things I should be doing, making sure I eat well, exercise, groom my body, get regular medical checkups, and get my teeth cleaned, and on and on and on. And while this kind of self-care is important and necessary, it kind of sounds more like obligation than genuine love and care for my whole self. When we focus on the details of navigating a human body in the physical world, our lives can become mundane and mechanical, and life is so much more. Self-care is so much more than simply tending to our bodies and our environmental needs. Self-care is this joyous journey of self-discovery, when we make it a deep dive into discovering who we are in our divinity, when we practice self-care by tending to our spiritual and emotional well-being, when self-care becomes an expression of light and love and joy, through all the areas of our lives, through our harmonious relationships and activities and our creative expression in the world, whatever that looks like for us personally. Self-care is a process of becoming aware of the unlimited potential and possibility of our authentic beingness. I love that word. It's discovering that each of us is and continues to be an expression of the divine presence, and nurturing and cultivating what Ernest Holmes called the seed perfection, nestled perhaps from objective gaze, the seed of our God self, expressing uniquely as us, because, we know that no two blades of grass or two grains of sand are exactly alike. What a joy to discover how that looks for us personally. Self-care is having a sense that our life is significant. Self-care is a realization that there is something within us that seeks to express itself. Self-care is discovering what that something is. I remember, it was several years ago, watching a video of Wayne Dyer, and he brought out a single orange on stage with him. And he asked this young boy of, maybe about 12, was sitting in the front row of the audience. And he holds this orange and he said to this kid, if I were to squeeze this orange as hard as I could, what would come out? And the boy kind of looked at him like he was crazy. He said, juice, of course. And then Dyer added, do you think apple juice would come out of it? And the boy laughed and said, no. What about grapefruit juice? No. What would come out of it? And the boy finally said, orange juice, of course. And then Dyer asked him, why? Why would, when I squeeze this orange, will orange juice come out? And the boy said, well, it's an orange and that's what's inside. And so Dyer nodded in agreement and said, let's assume that this orange is you. And someone squeezes you, puts pressure on you, says something you don't like or that offends you, and out comes anger and hatred and bitterness and fear. Why? And he continues, and the answer, as our young friend has told us, Dyer says, is because that's what's inside. It's one of life's great lessons, Dyer said. It doesn't matter who does the squeezing. It could be your brother, your mother, your children, your boss, the government. If someone says something about you that you don't like, what comes out of you is what's inside. And what is inside is up to us. It's our choice. When what comes out of us is anything other than love, it's a call for deep introspection and deep, loving self-care. Last month we explored how the circumstances, events, and situations that we walk through in our humanness sometimes be challenging. That's why I love Jessie's song, because she was talking about those challenges. But these shadow experiences, as we called them last month, can actually be seen as gifts, because they point us to the light of our own beingness, and they invite us to fan the flame of our own illumination and brilliance, so that we can shine it out into the world. Our shadow experiences call us to find the infinite love and light that we already are, that we truly are. And we can do this through our own self-discovery, through discovering that genuine orange juice within us. And as we become aware of the difference between the real orange juice and what's not the real juice, that's self-care. And we've said this so many times before, but we can't actually be separated from our God self, from the real juice. We can imagine that we're separate from the real juice, though. And because what we think and feel and our state of being is creative, our perception becomes what we project out into the world and into our experience. So self-care then becomes this ongoing discovery of the genuine juice that's within us, and we plant that seed from this juice so that we can have more orange trees and more orange juice and more goodness. Whatever we plant is it's going to come to fruition. You know, I've realized, if you're anything like me, you've probably realized this too, the older I get chronologically, I realize that life's not a dress rehearsal. It's the real thing. This is it. This is showtime, you know? And I've also been realizing lately that there is still a lot left in me that I want to express. I don't care if I'm 68. I still got this genuine juice flowing in me. There is a deeper potential within me that I still want to fulfill. You know, this feeling is kind of like, it's funny, it's kind of like exciting and yet unsettling at the same time. I seem to have still have what I've heard called divine discontent. You ever heard that term? It's kind of like a little nibble and a feeling that I'm being called to do more, to express more. You know, so I've been doing a lot of digging deep lately, meditating and visioning and listening to my higher God self and asking for guidance. And this is self-care. This is what we're talking about. This is self-care. You know, I look at this as cultivating and tilling the soil of my own inner garden so that the seeds of what is mine to do can begin to sprout and come to fruition. Can you relate to that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is there something, no matter how big or how small, that wants to come through you into the world to bring the metaphorical fruits of heaven to earth? I bet there is. You know, and I wonder, can you sit in meditation and listen to how that might come to fruition in your life, for you personally? Can you tend your own garden, your inner garden, through self-care? It's a good question to ask, isn't it? You know, I read somewhere that when the Egyptian potters were making those big, huge, magnificent vases, we see them in Egyptian art and artifacts, you know, the first thing they had to do was to work the clay. That was the hardest part of it, the most grueling, but it was essential. The finer they wanted the vessel to be, the more they had to work the clay. It had to be kneaded until it was just right, until it was pliable enough to accept the form that it was going to be. I think this is a wonderful analogy for us. Life is urging us to move forward, but sometimes we experience the kneading of the clay as something that we really don't enjoy. But we have to remember that in life, everything is a part of our growth and a part of our evolution. And we know, as Ernest Holmes told us, that life is never stagnant because it's God's nature to continue to express. So what if we, to the best of our ability, see everything in life as a part of the kneading of the clay, as a part of our evolution? Then every experience is simply this master hand working us so that we can become the expression that Spirit intends for us, that is laying on our hearts, that unique expression that is within us, that divine discontent expressed. It's everything is always urging and moving us forward. And then if we're experiencing something unpleasant or uncomfortable or even painful, we let it be a call to practice self-care, to recognize who and what we are, to go within, to connect with how we want to feel and to raise our vibration so that we can create a clear path, an open channel for the flow of God's good and to move easily, allow it to move easily through us. And as metaphysicians, we know that when we're uncomfortable, sitting in the discomfort doesn't get us where we want to go. Sitting in lack doesn't get us to prosperity. Sitting in dis-ease doesn't get us to wholeness. It can be a call to course correct, which is valuable, but then we have to change how we feel. So many times we think, oh, when I feel better, this will happen, or when this changes, then this good will emerge, or this will happen. When we feel better, when we have a reason to feel better, then all will be well. But you know what? That's backwards. That's actually backwards. The truth is that none of the things we want to change will change until we change, until we have that inner shift in consciousness. That's how the law works. And by practicing self-care, we go within and we create the feeling that we want to have. And then everything in the world lines up to express, to give us experiences that will have us feeling how we want to feel, connecting with that elevated feeling first, I believe, is radical self-care. Radical self-care, that's what we need to practice here. Feeling first. And you might be thinking, well, I can just change how I feel whenever I choose to. That's not really true. We actually can. One of Ernest Holmes' most famous quotes is, and I know you've heard it, change your thinking, change your life, which is, in my experience, completely true, but slightly oversimplified. It's actually more like change your thinking, which will change your feeling, and then your life will change. Mm-hmm. Each thought we hold in mind activates a corresponding feeling based on our subjective beliefs, which are created from our past experiences, from what we learned as children, from what we learn from the culture at large. So let's take some simple phrase or word like religion, or the holidays, or bathing suit season. That's my favorite. Every one of these phrases is tied to a network of thoughts in you, in me. Thoughts that can either be negative or neutral or positive. Although I have to admit, I really don't think anybody feels good about the phrase bathing suit season. So the good news here is that changing our feeling is as easy as changing our thoughts about something. If something you hear or see or think brings about a negative thought or a feeling, stop and think of a positive association with that word or phrase. Now, this is not going to happen overnight. It takes practice, but it can be done. And this is what we call awareness, being aware of how we think about things that pop up for us. Am I going into blame or judgment? Am I writing a story about this? So, for example, the word religion. While you might not like your religion of origin, you may think about how it called you to explore something new, something that really resonated with you and has supported you in your life. Or holiday season. While you might associate the holidays, as I do, with a little bit of stress and financial challenge, you may have a pleasant memory of a connection you made with someone or something around the celebration of some holiday. Or even bathing suit season might find you reveling in a memory of a wonderful sunny day on the beach with friends. These are just examples. You have to come up with your own that relate to your life, but you get the idea. We're in control of the thoughts we think and the meaning that they have for us. And in this way, we create a new elevated feeling when we're feeling down or caught in a feeling we'd rather not have. And changing how we feel is radical self-care. radical self-care. I mean, it's all about how we feel. So next time you're feeling discomfort, you could stop and ask yourself, is this my divine discontent urging me to reach for something better, for a better thought, for a more elevated feeling? You know, we've all had hurtful experiences, but it really is possible to gain insight and perspective if we think of our experiences as life preparing us for something more wonderful. That spirit is preparing the ground of our consciousness for something new to take root. You know, the great paradox of life is that we're here to know that we're whole and perfect and complete, that life is good and spirit made us out of itself. And yet we have experiences that are uncomfortable and often painful. And our task is not to rid ourselves of the pain, but to heal the pain, to bring it into the truth through forgiveness, through forgiving ourselves and forgiving others and forgiving the perceived injustices that we think were done to us, for healing our past wounds. Forgiveness works when we see the world through our wholeness and through our innocence, to know that life is for us, no matter what shows up in front of us. To move into a consciousness of our wholeness is how we heal, and forgiveness is the catalyst to that healing. To forgiveness draws us into a greater sense of who and what we already were. I always think of forgiveness as a shift from fear to love. I saw this poster of a butterfly talking to a caterpillar, and the butterfly was saying, yes, you can fly, but first that cocoon has got to go. You know, we can fly, but first our victimhood has got to go. Our old false ideas have got to go. Whatever our cocoon is, whatever the idea or underneath what needs to be healed has to go. It has to be transformed. And this won't happen by trying to figure it out, by asking why. I know that asking why is a very common question when a life challenge comes up for us. Why is this happening to me? But ultimately, why really doesn't make a difference. Instead of asking why, we can ask, how can I see this differently to transform my experience of it and to create something new? What meaning can I give this? What positive association can I draw forward so that I move into an elevated state of awareness, of a feeling of how this is benefiting me in my life? How can I allow this to call forth the love and the talent and the compassion that's within me? How we interpret life is totally up to us. And our task is not to set things right, but to see them right. This is how we heal ourselves through the power of forgiveness, to see life, to enjoy it, to fully participate and take it all in and know that it all has value. You know, if we isolate ourselves from what's happening around us, we don't experience any of it. Then we're partitioning ourselves off from all of the big, bold, and wonderful things that life has to offer us. You know, that life is divine and always inviting us into a greater and greater experience, you know, whatever that may be. You know, last week I talked about life having a bigger plan, and I said that always, you know, God's plan for us always kind of turned us off, always kind of turned me off. But you know, I'm reminded of what Louise Hay said, that it's a universal plan, and the universal plan is that everyone is open and it can participate in the good of life, you know, but we have to place ourselves in a position, in a perspective to see it and to feel it. We have to see from the larger perspective of our wholeness and our innocence. You know, and we recognize that we're spiritual beings, that we're empowered to use our minds and our energy to create our experiences in life, no matter what our experience has been up until then, no matter how long we played victim, and no matter how good we are at playing victim, then we recognize the potential and the possibility in our lives. Then we can say, today I change my thinking, which will change my thoughts and will change how I feel and will change my life. Ernest Holmes told us that the universe is impartial, that it gives alike to all. It values no one person over another. Its nature is simply to impart, and ours is to receive. And I feel that is true. It's the nature of the universe to give, but we have to be ready and in a position to accept the gift. But we can't do that if we're sitting in resentment or blame or victimhood. You know, these things call us to a higher level of awareness, and that's available to us right here, right now, simply by changing our mind about something. You know, we can use this technique of changing our mind about something to master our lives. The how-to is to know the power that's within us. You know, in our prayer and our meditation, we can affirm that we are one with God. We affirm that all of the creative, energizing force of God is in us. It's our strength. And then, you know, truth is, this doesn't always happen overnight. You know, we're talking about changing consciousness. It takes awareness. It takes commitment. And it requires a little attention, a little work daily and vigorously with patience and with joy. You know, we can call forth that truth within us, that we're all one with God. You know, all major religions have proclaimed this. The Hindus say that the Atman and the Brahman are the same thing, that they are within us, that the individual is one with the highest God. You know, the Buddhists say that we're all Buddha. The Jews say that we're made in image and likeness of God. Jesus said that ye are gods, that the kingdom of heaven is within. Ernest Holmes told us to let us realize and work with the sound knowledge and the perfect faith that as high as we shall make our mark in the mind of spirit, the elevated spirit, so high shall be our outward manifestation. Wow. We're not limited in any way. The potential is infinite. And the ultimate of self-care is reminding and unifying ourselves with God daily. When we know who we are, you know, the power's there. When we know who we are, all good begins to flow. Self-care is a realization of who we are and how we are free to use the universal power of good of God within us. This is it. And we are all one with this infinite presence and power. So let's move into some prayer around this. So I know that all there is God, all there is good, all there is this one life which surrounds, encompasses, and embraces everything. It cannot be any other way, for all there is God, and all there is good. We are one with it. So in that unity, in that unifying field of good, I speak my word for and about every person that is on this call. I'm speaking my word about for every person that's not on this call as well. For our beloved center, One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. I am speaking my word in and around all of humanity, that we all are open to experience, to embrace, to know that we are one with God and with this great power to express the good of God in and through it as life. That we can transform the experience of all humanity through our personal transformation, through our personal expression of the divine in and through our individual lives, because it's all one and it's all good. So I just say thank you for this opportunity to create, to be one with you, to be one with God, to be one with life, and to know that my life is significant, as is yours and all life. So I just relax in this, knowing all is well, knowing all is good. And in this relaxation, in this letting go of this word into the field of law, I am comforted. I'm grateful. And I invite you to signify your agreement by saying with me, and so it is. And so it is. All righty. All right, self-care. Self-care is big. Radical self-care. That's what I think we should all be about, is radical self-care. It means, who am I? What am I doing? All right, well, it is time for conscious giving, and if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I know it. It's Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. All right, you just need to unmute yourself, sweetie.
There, am I there? Yes. Okay. Well, out of a spirit of gratefulness for what Michelle was just sharing with us, I would like to suggest that it's a good time to think about the law of circulation. And on your screen, you will see the ways to contribute to one heart, one mind in order to live that idea of circulation. And you all know about Venmo, and there's the nice new mailing address if you wish to send a check instead.
That's I'm going to handle that from Jim now, and so this is right down the street from me.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then
next
we
slide.
have the blessing words.
Uh-oh, hang on, I'll get it up. I will get it. Need a little engine that could. All right, sorry about that, guys. A little slow today. Here it is. Can you see that, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay.
So why don't we say it all together? Everything flows from the nature of God's good. We receive from this flow and we give from this flow. We give in gratitude and in love. We have faith in the infinite giving nature of spirit. And so it is.
Beautiful, thank you. And we'll come back to you in a minute. I'm going to shift over to Yvonne for the announcements, and then you can do the benediction for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Monday evening prayer group we have every week. It's great. We would love it if you came and joined us to silently pray for one heart, one mind. And the Zoom link is in the newsletter if you ever get confused about it, which we seem to do really frequently. Then Tuesday evening is our spiritual learning from 6 to 7. And this has just been outstanding lately for me anyway. On Tuesday, the Learning Circle will be discussing chapter 5 of Life Loves You, written by Louise Hay and Robert Holden. And the chapter explores living in a grateful, or living a grateful mind, life. Sorry, I'll get it. Living a grateful life. And it really touches me. I'm sure it does other people too. It's really good. And Reverend Michelle's made the reading available online if you want to read it first, but you don't need to. If you just decide, oh, I'm going to try that and see what it's like, that's fine. And then this is an interesting thing for me. I have a reminder here about unexpected income, and I was just glued to thinking about it when Reverend Michelle was talking. It's a perfect thing, what I was thinking. Don't forget about unexpected income. You don't have to, you won't have any if you don't think about it. And it can include all kinds of things like, you know, coupons, savings, tax refunds, lunch or dinner that somebody treats you to. But the thing is, we don't see very much of it on our financials. And I was thinking about that. Why is that? And I decided that I personally really need to change my thinking and really pay attention to it. I don't always pay attention. Or sometimes I'll go, oh, well, that's only going to be $2, so I won't worry about it. And then I never get back to worrying about it, which I should by stopping and sending it. So I'm just reminding you that that's still going on. And you're not going to have unexpected income if you don't expect it. Imagine that. And then my last one reminder is to visit or tell someone else about visiting Reverend Michelle's Facebook page, Spiritual Recovery, A Journey of Positive Change. And she has videos on there and posts for those that are on a journey of recovery. And I guarantee you that every single one of us know at least one person that is, and that could use just knowing about it. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Yvonne. Okay, Lisa.
Okay, well, echoing what Yvonne was saying, I think that also, I know from my own perspective, that it's also worthwhile to think about the recovery work that Michelle is doing online, that it's something that we all can do, because we all have things that it's the processes, it's a part of that self-care internal stuff. And so there are lessons to be learned from that too. But at any rate, coming back into my duty, let's close our eyes and take a nice deep breath and know that this service has been totally blessed, and each of us has been blessed in terms of having the opportunity to really open up and take a look at the real concept of self-care beyond the physical, the self-care that is of the soul, that is of the deep orange juice inside, that is always seeking to evolve and grow and become more present for the love within, for the sacred heart of God. And so I know that each one of us has been blessed by this service, and each of us is a blessing to it. And I thank everyone who participated. I thank Ralane, and I thank Reverend Michelle, and I thank Jesse, and I thank Yvonne, knowing that all is well and that each of us makes a perfect contribution to the community that we have here at One Heart, One Mind. And I release my word into the law by saying, and so it is.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for thanking everyone too. Thank you. Oh. All right, Jesse.
All right. This is top-notch self-care you didn't know, but it's a trip to Home Depot. Sometimes I get a glimpse of what happens in your head, and I gotta say that it sounds so ridiculous. It makes me wonder if you understand how blessed I've been feeling being with you. 'Cause you got this way of carrying the light, just like a prism giving rainbows to people passing by, projecting technicolor dreams before my eyes. You just radiated, ain't it beautiful? And you got me so good that you could go and break my heart in two. And I would probably smile in awe of all of the beautiful ways that you do you. So baby, you better get used to it. My love ain't going nowhere. It starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. Your cup's too small and it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. This is the love song from God to you. The universe is singing through me. I love to witness you in all your humanness, 'cause I like to see the things in me that you reflect. I get to reel and get this feeling in my chest. I'm in love, baby, with every little piece of you. And you got me so good that you could go and leave me in the dust. And I'd be delighted to find there was more of you that I get to love. So baby, you better get used to it, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. It starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. And your cup's too small and it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. Ooh, yeah. My love ain't going nowhere. Baby, go to Home Depot, 'cause it's a form of self-care. Oh, baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. Baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you, 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 waiting years for a love like you.
So much. That was so beautiful. Oh, love, love, love that.